At the Old Haunted House, written by Helen Kettman, illustrated by Nate Rang. At the old haunted house, in a room with no sun, lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy one. "Spell!" cried the witch. "Poof!" cried the one, and they both practiced spells in the room with no sun. At the old haunted house, where a cold draft blew, lived a big monster and her wee monsters too. "Stir!" called the ma. "We stir!" cried the two. And they whirred and they stirred while the cold draft blew. By the old haunted house, in a dead hollow tree, lived a scrawny black cat and her wee kittens 3. "Scratch!" cried the mother. "Meow!" cried the 3, and they scratched and they growled in the dead hollow tree. Yikes, those trick-or-treaters don't look excited. At the old haunted house with the squeaky old floor lived a green paw goblin and his wee goblins 4. "Dust!" called the paw. "We dust!" said the 4. And they spread lots of dust on the squeaky old floor. At the old haunted house, where scary things jive, lived a ma werewolf and her wee wolfies 5. "Howl!" cried the ma. "Ow!" wailed the 5, and they yowled and they howled where scary things jive. In the old haunted house, in a vault made of bricks, lived a papa vampire and his little vamps 6. "Show fangs!" Pa cried. "Hiss!" went the 6, and they snarled and they shrieked in the vault made of bricks. At the old haunted house, teaching a lesson was a hairy mom bat and her bitty bats 7. "Dip dive!" cried the mom. "Flip flap!" went the 7, and they dipped and they dove in their dip diving lesson. By the old haunted house, near the graveyard gate, lived a spooky dad ghost and his wee ghosties 8. "Haunt!" cried the dad. "Boo!" cried the 8. And they booed and they floated through the graveyard gate. At the old haunted house, half covered with vines, lived a mummy mommy and her wee mummies 9. "Mix!" called the mommy. "We mix!" called the 9, and they stirred and they mixed in the house with the vines. At the old haunted house, in the dusty old den, lived a fat ma spider and her wee spiders 10. "Spin!" called the ma. "Weave ho!" said the 10, and they spun sticky webs in the dusty old den. At the old haunted house, the front door creaked. "Trick or treat!" yelled the children. The ghost shrieked, "Eek!" "Come in!" called Ma Mummy. The monsters made stew. The mummies made cake. The witches zapped brew. Ooh, yummy. Well, except for the eyeballs. I could maybe go with less eyeballs. The creatures all grinned as they struck up the band, and the spiders all swung on sticky web strands. The ghosties floated as the music played, black cats scratched, and werewolves bayed. The vampire band played music all night, and they all had fun at the Halloween Fright. The end.